Good morning. I'm Berks County Commissioner Christian Leinbach, and I want to welcome you to another Commissioners Board meeting for May the 20th. We're broadcasting live through Microsoft Teams live event and also BCTV, as well as Facebook and YouTube Live. At this time, I'd like to recognize my Executive Assistant, Mary Buer.
Thank you. Public comment will be accepted through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by the limitations of the platform being used, Teams, Q&A, Facebook, or YouTube. The meeting comment period is limited to 30 minutes in total. Please be concise. Comments will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you, Mary. At this time, we'll begin as we normally do with a moment of silence, followed by a pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we do each week, we will begin with a report, the Berks County COVID-19 data report. The report is being presented by Brian Gottschall, the director of the Berks County Department of Emergency Services, as well as the lead on the Berks County COVID-19 leadership team. Brian Gottschall.
Good morning, Commissioner. Thank you very much. Yes, our report for the week of May 20th here. First thing we want to look at is our cases and testing slides. We continue to see great downward progression in the number of cases when smoothed over the 14-day period. As we always look at them, we can see that we're back down to numbers that we haven't seen since back in February, March, and prior to that we were seeing back in the late fall prior to Thanksgiving. So, of course, we hope to see that downward trend continue. We've got the seasonal change. We obviously saw an incredible benefit last year during the seasonal change, and then this year we're doubling down on that by getting more and more folks in the population vaccinated. So good news all around on the case counts. Our hospitals continue to show lower and lower numbers. Again, as always, from the beginning, we show suspected and known cases of COVID in-house. The known cases of COVID are significantly below these numbers here. So both hospitals in very good shape and happy with how things are developing there. Our deaths continue to be concerning. The curve has flattened out, as we've mentioned over the last couple weeks, but also, as we've talked about, the deaths are the lagging indicator, and we unfortunately don't see the deaths come down as quickly as the cases come down. In essence, people who have already been diagnosed and are sick enough that they're going to ultimately die, that process has to continue on until we see the deaths match the case count diminishing. But the curve is on a downward trend like the case count curve is, just not happening as quickly. On vaccine administration, with respect to raw numbers, we moved up another level in the Commonwealth this week to number 9 by fully vaccinated as compared to last week where we were number 10. Also, we have improved our position per capita from 41st and with respect to fully vaccinated, and 28th with respect to first dose on board at least. And I apologize for the 28th there. This again is as of May, and I apologize, another typographical error. That's actually as of May 14th, not May 10th. So our numbers are looking a little bit better, although still not where we want them to be, particularly when you consider per capita, or another way of saying that, percentage of the population. We take a look at our goal thermometers, and we remember that in Pennsylvania, the goal that has been given to us is 70% of the population over 18 years of age, and the state is looking to CDC data to aggregate that, and we are right at a solid 50% of those over 18 years old in Pennsylvania have been vaccinated at this point. DOH tracks their data based on eligible, and right now their data for eligible still shows 15 and older. They have not yet incorporated 12 and older into these numbers, but based on 15 and older, we are at 38.1% of the Berks County population who has been fully vaccinated. And when we look at that across the Commonwealth, the spread in counties goes from a low of 21.5% in Fulton up to almost 62.5% in Montour County, with some counties making very significant gains. And I think we're going to see other counties move into that kind of top position over the next few weeks as first doses get their second doses and become fully vaccinated. But we'll look at that in future weeks. And then to kind of summarize that up in Berks County, as we said, right now, 38.1% of the eligible population is vaccinated. We want to get at least another 57,000, 58,000 residents raising their hands saying that they're willing to take the vaccine to hit that 70% goal. And we use our greater than there because these numbers are based on everybody eligible, 15 and over, not on 18 and over, which is what the CDC and governor's goal really is. So we kind of have to round the numbers a little to get to that 70%, but we know we need at least another 57,000 adults to raise their hand and say that they're interested in taking vaccine. And just to remind everybody how you can go about doing this, www.doyourpartberks, or the call center number 888-712-2772. Either way to get yourself an appointment, either at the county BCHC sponsored clinic in Muhlenberg or any of the other clinics that are operating. And just emphasize, at the county clinic out in Muhlenberg, walk-ins are okay. Not preferred. If you can make an appointment, that's better for everybody, you and us. But if the thing that's going to get you to go in and get your vaccine is just walking in the door without an appointment, everybody's perfectly fine with that, and you can feel free to do so. That's all I have, Commissioner. Unless you have any questions, I'm wrapped.
Any questions for Brian Gottschall? Hearing none, we will move to Commissioner Kevin Barnhart. He's going to give us an update on the Cook County Wellness effort as well as the vaccine center. Commissioner Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach and Brian, for your up-to-date information. From Cook County Wellness, our contact tracing folks, we had 459 new contacts last week, down slightly from the previous week, still tracking close to 71% success rate in contacting people and get them on the contact tracing program. So far to date with Cook County Wellness, over 15,000 people have been contacted, and this past week, the exposures, large exposures, line lists are down to 45. They were as high as in the 70s. So things are trending in the right direction. They certainly aren't the numbers we want to see, but we are seeing some positive results. And just to follow up on Brian with the vaccine center, we are having a good response, but we certainly have more than adequate space for people. They are continuing to flex the timing. So it's important for you to stay up to date on media notes and also calling the number to set up your appointments. They are trying to flex hours to get as many people vaccinated as possible. So stay tuned for more changes at the vaccine center. Thank you.
You're muted, Commissioner.
Yeah, that's not technology. That was just me. Okay, let me try that again. Thank you very much, Commissioner Barnhart, for that report. Are there any additions or corrections for the May 13th Commissioner meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. We did have one executive session on May the 19th dealing with personnel, real estate, and litigation. Mary, are there any public comments on specific agenda items?
No, I don't believe there are.
Thank you. Item 1, authorizing under that Budget Department adopt a resolution authorizing 2021 budget transfers in the amount of $5,790 and 2021 appropriations in the amount of $33,982 per listing dated May the 18th of 2021. We have two items listed under Human Resources. Item 1, authorize the promotion of Sophie Heiser from Computer Forensic Specialist to Digital Forensic Technical Lead in the District Attorney's Office. Item 2, authorize a salary adjustment for Rebecca Oxenrider, Assistant Real Estate Administrator in the Sheriff's Department. We have two items listed under the Commissioners. Item A, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute and submit a proposal to lease space in the Berks County Agricultural Center to the United States Department of Agriculture for a term of up to 10 years, 5 years of which are a firm commitment with the additional 5 years at the USDA's option at the rates which are set forth in the proposal to lease space, subject to such modification to the terms and conditions of the USDA's proposal to lease space as may be approved by the county solicitor. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the 2020-2021 renewal quote to P Corp, Pennsylvania County's Risk Pool, a program of the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania, and excess crime coverage with travelers insurance as presented by EHD. This includes the appropriate quarterly compensation agreement presented by EHD, who charges a discounted fee in lieu of accepting carrier commissions. This fee remains unchanged from the current agreement. And then item 2, a motion authorizing execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the attached listing dated May the 18th of 2021. There are a total of 6 contracts, 1 with the Berksheim, 2 with facilities and operations, 2 with mental health and developmental disabilities, and 1 with the Treasurer's Office. And then item 3, a motion to ratify and confirm payments as set forth on the Controller's Office voucher listing dated May the 18th of 2021, and the payment of electronic transfers and employee payroll.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. We'll move now to our county treasurer's report, and that is being presented by the deputy treasurer, Linda Weaver. Linda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have an opening balance of $242,461,651.59. We have a balance to clear of $6,331,720.23, leaving us with a balance of $236,129,931.36.
Thank you very much, Linda. We'll move now to our county controller, Sandy Graffius, with the controller's report.
Okay, gentlemen, we have a total accounts payable of $7,383,776.26. We had a supplementary payroll this week for the tax collectors, and that was $100,467.07 for a grand total of $7,484,243.33.
Thank you very much, Sandy. We'll move now to our Chief Administrative Officer, Ron Seaman, for his report.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. First of all, I want to thank the employees of the county elections staff for their work and preparation in the conduct of this past Tuesday's primary. And more importantly, the departments and their employees, 30 in total, that were surrendered to help assist in the processing of the mail-in ballots. We've learned from our experience in the fall. We made improvements. It's a work in progress. It keeps refining itself, but their support was just exceptional, and I can't thank them enough for that. Along with the elections, I'd like to congratulate all the successful candidates and wish them well as they move forward into the November election, as well as those who were not successful. I think it's important that individuals take it upon themselves to put themselves in a position of service to their communities and offer their candidacies, and for that they're to be commended. Lastly, I wanted to inform our viewing public that we did yesterday receive confirmation from the U.S. Treasury Department that our application for the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 state and local fiscal recovery funds application was received and approved as being completed, and also that our first half of our allocation, the amount of $40,903,085 was received, and due to the planning and efficiency of the treasurer and his staff, the same day we received those funds yesterday, they were immediately transferred into an interest-bearing account where they will continue to work, earning some additional funds for this worthwhile program as we sort through how they should be allocated. Thank you for them for their assistance, and that's all I have to report.
Thank you very much, Ron. We'll move now to commissioners' comments, and we will begin with Commissioner Kevin Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach, and again, welcome everyone to our program this morning. I want to echo the comments of Ron Seaman with not just our election services workers, but our other 30 employees who step forward to help out on Election Day, and BCTV, our partner, who has again recorded every aspect of the mail-in ballot process, as well as the efforts in election services through the balance of this week. And to successful candidates and those who are not successful, keep trying, and especially to the voters, even though 23+% is not a great number, it sure has at least come off the floor from the previous municipal elections where we were down in 18 and 20%. So at least we had a slight uptick. Hopefully that number will continue to trend upward as we move forward, as people exercise their right and privilege to vote here. We have the equipment, we have the mail-in process, no excuse. We have the 202 polls, so there's no reason. Tuesday was an absolutely phenomenally gorgeous day. So anybody who has a reason why they didn't vote, I'd like to hear why, because every option of it is available to you. So hopefully those numbers will start to trend up again in the future during the as significantly important elections as municipal primaries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Barnhart. And now we'll go to Commissioner Michael Rivera.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. I also want to echo the comments of my colleague, Commissioner Barnhart, and Ron Seaman as well, and thank everyone in election services and those who are also county employees who help on Election Day, and also the people who worked at the polls and the interpreters as well. Everyone needs to come together and work together to be able to pull off a successful Election Day process, and that's what happened on Tuesday. So thank you very much to everyone who was involved in this process. Each one is needed to make sure that everyone can get out and vote, and the process is run in a smooth manner. Also want to thank those who ran. It's not an easy task to get out there and put yourself out there. I know in some races there were some issues that were brought up in reference to some of the material that were put out there, which is unfortunate. But to those who ran, please, if you won, congratulations. If you lost, use it as a learning experience for the next race, and make sure you get out there the next election as well and run. We need to make sure that people are engaged in the electoral process, that we have people running to fill those elected positions. And also it's important to have people understand that this election, 23% plus of voters only voting, this is a local election, and these elections have more of an impact on you personally than the presidential election does. So please, let's all get engaged even in these local elections as well. And looking forward to the November elections. To those who don't have to run in November because there's no one running against them, or they won, the judges that won the nomination in both parties, congratulations to you as well. This past Saturday, it was the road ramble for the Berks History Center. I had the opportunity to go and visit some of the places there. Finished up at the Daniel Boone Homestead. First time I had gone there, it was a great experience to be able to walk around the campus and see the different things on there. The house itself and that historic area, part of it, it had been closed for a while, and it has reopened. So if you have been thinking, hey, you know what, it's beautiful out, where do I go, what do I do? Drop by the Daniel Boone Homestead in Birdsboro. There's picnic areas there. You can grill, you can eat, you can spend some time with family and friends there, and you can also learn about our history here. So again, thank you to the Berks History Center for the great work they did with the road ramble. The next one coming up is in October. It's a great way to learn more about the history here in Berks County. They had a CD and a thumb drive with audio information, which I listened to completely. A lot of great information about how the city started, how, you know, the important people in the county, what they did and how the county was formed as well. So thank you very much for that information. Also, for those of you that are in the Boyertown area or like old cars, the Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles will be officially opening their newest exhibit at the museum. It's a Rosy Outlook, World War II and the Girls with the Star-Spangled Heart. And that will be this Saturday, May 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. outside of the museum. At noon, they will unveil the Rosie the Riveter Rose Garden in honor of the Boyertown Auto Body Works Rosies and all the women who served on the front lines in World War II. Again, that's this Saturday in Boyertown, 85 South Walnut Street from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the last thing I want to bring up is the CHIRP, the Hospitality Industry Recovery Program grant. The second round has closed. We'll know more by next week how many applications we had and what was the dollar amount. But as of now, it seems to be a request in excess of $900,000. So more information to come on that. And that's all I have. Commissioner Leinbach, back to you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Rivera. Several items I'd like to touch on. First of all, I will also give my thanks to our elections department staff and to all the people that worked for the county at the polls on election day. Overall, it was a very good day. There were a few glitches. I know we had one location where there was a major power outage, but between the backup battery systems and the machines and the local township who responded, I believe DES was also working to respond, and MedEd, that was able to be addressed, and there was very little impact on the ability of the people to vote. And just very good to see a higher turnout than what we've seen the last several municipal elections. I'm one of the people, I don't worry so much about just seeing huge numbers of people vote. I want to make sure that people that go to vote have done their homework and they know who they're voting for. It doesn't do a whole lot of good if you go into the polls and it is just a guess on who you're voting for. So while I'd like to see more people vote, we need more people to engage in local government and see who's running for supervisor, school board, local MDJs, judges, etc. I also want to congratulate those that put themselves out as a candidate. Obviously, there were some winners, there were some losers. Interestingly enough, in the race for Berks County Court of Common Pleas. The entire election was settled in the primary. Tina Boyd and Jim Gavin both won on both sides. So it will be interesting to see if they might be seated a little bit earlier than they otherwise would have been. So congratulations to the winners and to everyone that ran. My wife and I also participated in the Berks History Center Road Ramble. Very fascinating. I love history, but I learned a variety of things. I'll give you one tidbit. The community of Ole, before it was Ole, what was the name of that community? And it's tied to a road that goes right into Ole, Friedensburg. So that's something I learned listening to the CD as my wife and I were traveling around to the various stops, and it was absolutely a gorgeous day. My wife took a number of photos while we were driving and posted them up on Facebook. Really a great way to learn about your county. Yesterday, I had the privilege of participating in the 175th anniversary of the Hamburg Police Department. That meeting began just a little bit after noon at the Hamburg Borough Building. There were a number of people there from throughout the area. I want to give congratulations to Chief Kuklinski. He is the Chief of Police for Hamburg Borough. A number of the officers from the borough were there. They do a great job. They serve their community very well. They also had two previous chiefs there. Chief Michael Painter, who I know was there for a number of years. I met him early in my time as a commissioner. And former Chief Gene Chappelle, who is currently a supervisor in Tilden Township, where I reside. Chief Painter and Chief Chappelle shared some historical comment and perspective, but it was a very great time, enjoyed by a lot of people in the community, as well as a number of dignitaries. I also had the privilege to speak. I recognize both of my colleagues in thanking the chief and the borough for what they do, and also want to note that our sheriff, Eric Weekneck, was also in attendance at that event. One last note I want to make, Berks County, one of the things we may take for granted in this part of the country is that when it comes to agriculture, we have some of the best agricultural ground in the country, if not the world. And in particular, it is an area that does not need to rely on irrigation. Even in many parts of the U.S., they rely on irrigation because the rainfall is not enough to provide sustenance to the crops. We are on the potential verge of a drought. I've talked to a number of farmers. I actually was at an event, Commissioner Barnhart was there as well, down in Ole late yesterday afternoon, early evening. Fleetwood Bank opened a new branch in Ole, and Senator Schwank was there. I was talking with her. We have a mutual friend, all three of us, Eric Coolidge in Tioga. And a month ago, Eric told me that we were headed for a drought this year. We really haven't seen a drought, any serious drought in Berks since 2003. So it's been a long time. I just want to make folks aware. It is beautiful weather, but it is very dry. If you're in farming or you're a gardener like I am, you realize it is a little bit concerning, and that can have an impact on our local farm community. So I just wanted to mention that. That's all I have to share. Do we have any comments from our row officers? Okay. With that, I will turn the program over to Mary Buer and have her read any public comment.
Thank you. John Archer, Spring Township. The topic, election canvassing processes observation. Commissioners, during this primary election week, Election Services hosted several election process observers to watch and ask questions about the overall proceedings and processes involved in the handling of the mail-in and absentee ballots. It also processed the inputs of the precincts results for all of the county precincts. While the observation period lasted several hours, Commissioners Barnhart and Rivera, Chief Administrative Officer Ron Seaman, Election Services Director Ron Rachowski, and other professionals in election services assisted our observation efforts tremendously with their taking the time necessary to explain the processes involved and to provide answers to all of our questions in a sincere and detailed fashion. It is reassuring to know that this county's officers and personnel associated with election services are working as a solid team to handle what is a complex process, which extends from the registration of qualified citizens to handling of distribution of mail-in ballots and the staffing of 200+ precinct polls. Long hours are worked each and every day by election services personnel who interact with the citizens of Berks County to help them through the various steps of our election process. As a result of our being able to witness their service firsthand, rest assured that we are very appreciative of their simply doing what they do. Thanks. Crystal Kowalski, why I'm missing. Good morning, Commissioners. My comment is in reference to changes in the minute-taking policy for county meetings. At the May 11th operations meeting, Commissioner Leinbach stated that the rules for taking minutes, besides the date, time, place, and what members attended the meeting, only need to include the specific actions taken by the commissioners and the name and place of residence of the commentor. While this may be the minimal requirement, it is important to remember that minutes serve as an official record of what occurred at a meeting. Having the minutes as detailed as possible provides an important historical record. I know from experience that having access to Mary Jo's detailed minutes helped immensely in the effort to keep Berks time in county hands. I understand that including detail can be problematic from a legal perspective, but it is absolutely critical for transparency, for accurate historic record, and for the sake of the public's right to know. This comment is for the record, and I request that it be part of the minutes. Thank you. And that concludes the Q&A.
That ends our Q&A period. Are there any comments from my colleagues?
I just want to.
Go ahead, Michael.
I just want to take a moment and thank John Archer for his comments. I know John he's asked questions about elections, about the jail, about many different other topics. So John likes to get the correct information to be able to share it and to be able to answer questions. So I really appreciate that from John, that he does ask and he is involved in the processes here. I know John was involved last year. He was involved this year also in the different aspects throughout the election process, which I think is important, that you learn about the processes so that you can speak to those when asked or to be able to correct misinformation as well. So John, thank you very much.
Yeah, I posted a similar comment back to John in the chat area. John I'll tell you what, John asked a lot of tough questions. I think Kevin will agree to that. But John has been very fair and very honest throughout this entire process. I don't know if there's anyone we've seen any more as an observer since last year's election than John and his wife Jean, but they do a good job for the party that they represent, and they are professional. And when they have a problem, they state it, and that I'm absolutely fine with that. I wish we had more people like John and Jean Archer. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
The meeting stands adjourned.